deal with it. All right, so let's start seated and let's set a block kind of about a half a foot outside of each hip. And probably on this flattest setting. Okay. We're doing that to bring the floor closer up to us, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to close our eyes here for a moment and connect with your breath. Don't feel like you have to change the breath, just notice it. Maybe keep the eyes closed for a few more moments. And take your hands and feel your way over to your right thigh. And just kind of grab a hold of that right thigh and just begin to twist very slowly. Stay grounded through the sits bones. And feel that rotation occurring kind of mid-back, shoulders, and not so much in your neck. Hold that twist. And then open your eyes and just kind of make a little imaginary mark on the wall about how far you twisted. And then exhale, coming back to the front. And again, close your eyes here and walk your hands over to the other thigh, to your left side. And begin that twist. So you're using your hands maybe as a little bit of leverage. Trying to twist mainly through the shoulders, upper back. Stay grounded as much as possible through those sitting bones. And without a whole lot of neck rotation, you're more or less trying to keep your chin in line with your sternum. And then just open your eyes and again, make that imaginary mark. Perfect. All right, coming back to the front. All right, we're gonna revisit those imaginary marks in just a little bit. So take your hands to the knees, palm down. Inhale, lean forward, rock your pelvis forward. You're trying to bring your navel closer to the mat in front of you. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards you. Look up like a turtle. And then exhale, draw the navel into the spine, round back. Let the pelvis round back, chin to the chest. Inhale, lean forward. We do this really slow because we're mainly trying to get a stretch into our spine, and we have lots of vertebrae to move. Exhale, round back. One more round this way. Inhale forward. And exhale back. And come up to a seated position. One little comment on that seated cat-cow that varies from its original knees cat-cow. When we typically do a knees cat-cow, the most of the movement is happening in that low back because we don't have ribs that attach to the low back vertebrae. When we do it seated here, we get a little bit more movement, I think, through the upper spine and the upper back. So just, because we're more grounded with our tailbone. So just a thought. All right, so take your right hand out to this top block and just do a little scooping in and out of the elbow. And your hand can twist a little bit as you do that. Keep that elbow nice and light, and then reach up and over for side bends. So that elbow is just barely supporting you. It's allowing you to reach. Keep the sits bones down to the mat. Inhale brings you up. Place your left hand to the block. Scoop that elbow just a few times, and up and over. Slight bend to the elbow. Nice. All right, inhale. Come on up, over to the other side. Maybe you side bend a little deeper here. And another option would be to start to twist open. Also, you can orient your block and bring your forearm down to the block if that's accessible for you. And come up and over to the other side. As we become more flexible on these side bends, we always have the option to get rid of the block, but I think they're nice for now. Twist open and come on up. Perfect. All right, we're going to take a full twist here. Inhale, reach up. We haven't done a whole lot of warming up, but we're going to twist to the right. That left hand comes down to your right knee. Twist using the leverage. Now look at how far you're twisting. Amazing, right? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist the other way. And inhale, reach up. Palms come together. Exhale, slide your hands down through to the heart space. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do that little, it's called a double pigeon pose. We're gonna pick up the right ankle. And I want us to flex that ankle. So you want this ankle very active with the toes drawing to the shin. And then you can cradle the leg, bring it in just as far as you're comfortable without the back rounding. And then just a little gentle rock. And then set that right heel perhaps on the thigh. If it doesn't reach that far, you could go to the calf. You could also go to a block in front of your calf. And then the other block, it's nice to maybe put in here as a spacer. They're all nice and supported. Put a little music back on. So for you that hate pigeon, how's this feel?
Okay, I mean, I have artificial hips, so it's just gonna do what it does.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, but you want to keep the motion you have, right? All right, we're going to inhale, reach the arms overhead, twist towards the lawn, and your right hand can come to that flexed foot or perhaps to the thigh. And you're just going to see if you can revolve a little further, surpassing that previous mark you made on the wall. And then inhale, come on up. Palms come together, slide them down to the heart space. Perfect. Okay, we're going to just unload the block here on the underneath that right knee if you used it, and take your right leg straight out in front of you. Flex at the ankle, inhale, reach up, and when you're ready, just fold forward. Keep drawing those right toes in towards you. And walk yourself up. Okay, so take this bent knee, hug it into your chest. We're going to step that foot over the knee, and we're going to twist towards the lawn again. So each twist, you're trying to open up a little bit more, rotating open towards that lawn. Perhaps looking over that left shoulder. In this particular pose, you need to kind of squeeze the thighs a little bit towards midline. Let's take one more breath here. Full inhale. And exhale, release. We'll take both legs out in front of us. Give them a little shake down. Okay, fold the legs in and pick up this left ankle. We'll try to do all this same stuff on the other side. So key is to activate the ankle so that the toes are drawing in towards the shin, and that gives us a little protection at the knee joint, because we want to make sure that when we rock here, that we're just oiling up that hip and not stirring the knee. So take it easy. You don't have to come in very far. And then set that left heel on the thigh or the calf or on a block, or just the floor is fine too, in front of the crossed shin. Use your spacer if you'd like. And sit up tall. This is one of those poses where it doesn't look like we're doing a whole lot, but we know we are. Much needed pose. All right, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Twist towards the inside wall of the room. Left hand goes either to that left foot or the right thigh. Trying to get that twist. Keep the fingers really light on this back left hand. We want to use our core to stay up tall. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, coming back forward. We're going to take this left leg straight out in front of us. Flex at the ankle. Inhale, reach up. And fold over. So hinging as much as possible at your hip joint, drawing those left toes in towards you. And just walking yourself back up. And we'll hug that right knee. And step it over. So here's the part where our hips, we were just externally rotating. Now the hips have to internally rotate. So you have to really like squeeze the thighs together. You can use your hands to help. And then we're going to twist away from the lawn, so to your right. Using your hand as leverage. Keep squeezing those legs in towards the midline. Over that right shoulder. Should feel like a nice, full, deep twist. And then exhale, release. We'll take both legs out in front of us again. Just give them a little wiggle wobble. All right, so full forward fold. So sitting up here in a stick pose, one thing that's kind of nice with the two blocks is to put them right here at the hips. What you want to feel when you sit in this Dandasana pose is that you're lowering your shoulder blades down your back. You're pressing into the blocks, and it's almost as if you're lifting your hips up off the ground. So sometimes you can do that depending on proportions of arm length and that sort of thing. So you're just lifting up and you should feel those shoulder blades activated. And then lower, inhale, reach up, and hinge and fold forward. Not necessary to reach the feet. Just find your breath here. Notice that on your each exhale, you might be able to find just a little bit more space to fold forward a little more. I'm cautioning you that if you feel this too much in the back, particularly that low back, then just kind of come up here a little bit higher. You want to feel this primarily in those hamstrings. And then let's just walk ourselves back up. Okay. I like to say this, look mom, no hands. So we want to have our hands right here at the heart space. We want to draw our heels together, knees open, just slide those knees in. And then fold forward, just a little hinge. Hands can go down to the mat for a little bit of support. It's a nice little hip opener. And then just walk yourself back up. Keep these legs open, and we're going to take the blocks behind us. So long ways. And we're going to just come on down to our forearms on top of those blocks. Maybe you can draw your heels in a little closer. Maybe you can lift your chest, drop your head back, close your eyes. And then slowly, come on up with your hands on those blocks. Lift your chest, plant your feet. This is another version of that pigeon pose. We're going to take our right ankle and cross it over the left knee. Now, you can vary how much stretch you have by walking those blocks in, coming up a little taller, or if that's too much, then you come on down again to the forearms on top of those blocks. Or if that's too much, you can come all the way down to forearms onto the mat. So just feeling that nice stretch in that right hip. Yeah. Lydia, you have to be careful what you ask for, right? All right, walk yourself back up, uncross the legs. Maybe a slight bend in the elbows here. We're just going to kind of seesaw the legs from side to side. It's just a nice little hip massage. And then switch sides, so left ankle over right knee. And if you want the full effect of this stretch, you use the blocks to sit up really tall. So essentially bringing that thigh closer in towards you. If that's too much, maybe you start back here. Creating that opening in the hip. And then coming back up. Let's take both legs out in front of us, just a little shake out. And if you want, you can just kind of rotate those feet in and out. We're going to keep those blocks with us, and we're going to come on to hands and knees. But the blocks can be just off to the side of your hands, with your hands onto the mat. If you want to double up your mat or use a blanket or something on your knees, we'll be here for just a little bit. We're first going to do that standard method of cat and cow. Inhale, look up, drop your belly. Notice that you probably have quite a bit of motion in that low back. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine. Notice where most of the movement is occurring. And inhale, look up. One more round here. Exhale, cat. And inhale, cow. All right, changing that up a little bit, we're going to set the blocks underneath our hands. So remember we talked about trying to get into the upper back a little bit more in our cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, press into the blocks, grow the arms longer, cat pose. Feel a little bit more stretch between the shoulder blades. Chin drops to the chest. Inhale, reverse. And you can even bend the elbows here, maybe even lean down, melt down towards the mat a little bit. And then exhale, round back up, cat. One more time. Look up, sink the back down. And exhale, round up. Perfect. All right, step your right foot the inside of that right block. Keep your left hand on the block, and we're going to take a nice little twist. See if you can take your left hip closer towards the mat. So it's leaning towards the front windows a little bit more. Try to flatten the hand on the left side. You don't want to prop up on the thumb. All the way flat. Perfect. All right, and then take that right hand down, reach your hips back, and just lean over this forward right leg. Getting into the hamstring again, maybe flex and point the right ankle a few times. All right, press into that right foot again and see if you can reach both arms up overhead, crescent moon pose. Now exhale, twist towards the right, so towards that top knee. Left hand goes to the top of the knee. Look over your right shoulder. You got it, inside of the room. All right, inhale, come on up again. Exhale, hands come down to the top of the blocks, step back, hands and knees. And we're going to go ahead and just drop our hips back for a child's pose. And what's nice about the blocks here is you can rest your forearms on the blocks. So dangling your wrists off of the blocks, you can rotate those wrists around a little bit. You can feel a little deeper stretch into the shoulder joint. Nice. All right, next inhale, we'll come up to hands and knees, hands on top of the blocks. Left foot steps to the inside of that left block. And we're going to do this first this time. Take your hips forward. Forgot about that last time, right? Then press into that right hand, twist open to the left. Press out of that right shoulder just a little bit. All right, left hand comes down, hips come back. Folding over that left leg, maybe straighten that left leg out a little bit. Flex and point the left ankle. All right, press into that left foot, lift the hips, come forward, reach both arms up, crescent moon pose. Gaze can go up here. Now on our exhale, we're going to twist towards the lawn so that right hand comes down to the left knee, Look over your left shoulder. Nice. Find that twist. Keep reaching the hips down. Beautiful. All right, coming back. And we'll step back to hands and knees. Let's walk our knees wide, almost as wide as your mat. Big toes together for a wide knee child's pose. You can push your blocks off the mat and see if you can melt all the way down to the mat. Chest coming down to the mat as close as possible, maybe walking those hands forward, rooting the hips back. Finding a little bit more space to fold. All right, from here, make your way back up to hands and knees. We're going to tuck our toes under. And let's just hover. Lift the knees up, hover. This is like a bear stance. And then we're going to push the hips back, keeping those knees bent. If you look at your wrists for just a moment, you are kind of smoothing out those creases in your wrists by moving the hips back, opening up the armpits towards the mat. And then let's start to straighten the right leg. Reach that right heel down towards the mat. And bend the right knee, switch, and bring the left knee straight. Heel reaches to the mat. One more time each side. Taking your dog for a walk here. And then look up to your hands. Take as many steps as you need to come to a forward fold. Make sure your feet stay nice and hip distance apart. If you want, you can take the blocks underneath your hands for a little bit of extra support in your forward fold. Or you can be fingertips to the top of those blocks. Bring your hands to your hips. Hinge on up to standing. Perfect. All right, somebody requested shoulders. So we're going to take our hands wide, reach them behind your back, interlace the fingers. Draw the arms back away from you. So one more little trick here is to see if you can bring your palms and rotate them in towards each other. And it creates a little bit more rotation at the shoulder joints. Look up, inhale. Now on your exhale, hinge and fold forward. Maybe those hands start to float up towards the ceiling. And then let go of any tension that's in the neck. Yeah. Big shoulder stretch. All right, release the hands. Take your hands to the hips, hinge on back up to standing. All right, we're going to move through a couple of those sun breaths just to get the whole body moving. Inhale, reach up, full breath, and fold over. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Hands can slide up the top of the shins. Exhale, bow. Inhale, root to rise, all the way up. Palms meet, slide them down to the heart space. Just one sun breath and I'm already warm. Inhale, reach up, full breath. Use your breath here. Swan dive over. Inhale, half lift. Activate those muscles between your shoulder blades. Fold. Press through the feet, root to rise. All the way up. Slide the hands to the heart space. Very nice, everyone. All right, so let's just slide this right leg straight back. So that our legs are in 2 track lines. We're going to be up on the toes on that back right foot. So I want us to kind of get in touch with this back leg. So we're nice and firm and strong on the front leg. Can you make this back leg really strong and stable also? Your torso should be right between. Inhale, reach the arms up. This is our high lunge pose. Option, just an option, bring your elbows wide and slowly see if you can take your gaze up towards that big ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. All right, exhale. Take your hands down towards the mat or towards those blocks. Step your right foot in to meet the left. Hands come to the hips, hinge on up to standing. That's like our little vinyasa. We're missing all those chaturangas, right? All right, left leg goes back, 2 track lines. So we don't want to be on a tightrope. And you're on your toes on this back left foot. So warrior 1, we have that foot flat. It's the only thing difference between these poses. This is safer on our knee, but it involves a lot more balance, right? So root down between the feet, engage the core, reach your arms up overhead, high lunge. Really activate that back leg. Beautiful. Elbows can go wide, cactus arms. Very slowly, if you feel stable, take your gaze up. Really challenging that balance. Exhale. We're going to fold forward. Hands can just come to the blocks. Step that left foot forward, forward fold. We're just going to hang like a rag doll here. Maybe a little sway. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. All right, we're going to take a little twist. So put your one block in front of your right foot. Set your right hand flat on the top of that block. Bend your right knee. Lift and twist open towards the lawn, lifting that left arm up overhead. Try to stack the shoulders here. Beautiful. Lots of twists today. All right, bring that left hand down. Set the left block instead of in front of the left foot. You can bend that left knee deeply. Right leg stays straight. Twist to the inside of the room, stacking the shoulders. Should feel this alongside of that straight hip. Little IT band stretch. Nice. And that right hand comes down. Hands come to the hips, hinge on up to standing. All right. We're going to kind of do a little something slightly different. We're going to take the right toes back, like we're going to come into that lunge, but instead we're going to pivot and place that right heel to the ground. Notice that you should have a 45-degree angle on that right foot. So pointing up to the front corner of your mat. Inhale, reach up. This is our warrior 1. And then circle sweep your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, draw those arms back. Option to take a little back bend and look up. Exhale, hinge forward, just to the inside of that left thigh. And then bow the head down towards the mat. This is called humble warrior. Get rid of all that tension in your neck. Nice, everyone. Root through your feet, rise on up. Release the hands, maybe roll those shoulders out. Nice. All right, come on back up, warrior one. Now pick up that right heel, pivot towards the inside wall, drop your hands into a T. This is warrior two. Flip that left palm up, reverse your warrior as you bring that left hand up towards the ceiling. You got it. Now on our exhale, we're going to take this left hand down to the front block that's still close by. Right hand to the block, step the right foot forward, forward fold. And hands to the hips, hinge on up to standing. Nice, we'll do all that on the other side. So left foot comes back. So like you're starting in that lunge, that high lunge position, then we anchor that back left heel. So you can even check it. You want your legs in two track lines and just a 45-degree angle. Reach the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, hands reach behind your back. Look up. Challenges the balance. Stay connected to those feet. Exhale, hinge forward, humble warrior, towards the inside of that right thigh. Nice. Keep pressing through the feet. Beautiful. Slowly rise up, release those hands, maybe circle sweep the arms a few times. All right, inhale, back up. It's our warrior one, and then we're going to pivot open to warrior two. So you're just picking up that left heel a little bit. Right palm lifts up, or reversing your warrior. Nice. All right, take that right hand, reach it forward towards the right block, step your left foot to meet your right foot, forward fold. Hang out here, hinging. And then hands come on up to the hips, hinge on up to standing. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna step our feet kind of wide. So maybe your heels are still on your mat, but your toes are facing outwards. And we're just gonna do a little rotation here. But try to keep your hips still and envision just that upper body twisting. Nice. We don't wanna crank those knees around. Nice. And then maybe second gear, a little faster. And then slow it down. Little windmills. Okay. All right. So balance is going to be a standing pigeon pose. A standing pigeon pose. Why not, right? Okay, so you can take it to whatever point you want. We're first going to just bend our knees and come into kind of a chair pose. We want to keep our chest upright, our core engaged, and our gaze is straight ahead. We want to be really solid and balanced here. Now, if you don't want to do pigeon, I understand. You can pick up the outer left foot, slide the foot along your shin, press into that standing leg. You could come into a nice little tree pose. If you want to come into standing pigeon, you're sliding that foot up and you're seeing if you can just cross that ankle, that right ankle, over your left knee. Maybe the hands come to the heart space. Option to reach them up overhead. And when you're ready, you can float the hands back down and lower the foot. There's always options. All right, walk the legs out. All right, so switching sides. The reason why we're starting in this chair pose is for balance. We're really trying to activate these quads, you know, and our glute muscles to stabilize us. So if you want, you can come into the pigeon by sliding that left foot up, crossing it over the knee, or just sliding it to the inside of the right leg and coming into tree. So your choice. Be different on each side. And then hands come together and slide them down, step out of your pose. Good job, everyone. All right, walk it out here a little bit. All right. So from the front of our mats, have those blocks still handy. We're going to come up on a big inhale, reach overhead, bring the palms together, interlace your fingers, and just take a little back bend here. Exhale, release the hands, swan dive over. Perhaps your hands come to just the top of the blocks, fingertips or palms, light fold. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Now carefully, we're gonna exhale, we're gonna bend our knees. You can lower those blocks, but it brings the floor a little closer to you. Make sure you put your palms flat on either the blocks or the mat. Step back to hands and knees. Couple of cat and cow here. Inhale. Drop the belly and look up. Exhale, round. Get that great space between the shoulder blades. And then we'll come to a neutral position. Okay, so you guys are gonna kill me, but I did this once in somebody else's class and it was really hard. So, all right, so we have two blocks. We're gonna come into a pointer dog with opposite hand and opposite knee on the blocks. Really crazy hard. But what we're gonna do is take this right block, draw it back, and set your right knee on it. And then see if you can balance, start to extend your left leg. Right hand can be down on the mat for a little bit of support. If you have this, the right arm reaches out. And then take the hand and the knee down. Whew. Take the right block from out underneath that right. And then just come on down to a child's pose. This might be great to just get off those wrists for a few minutes. So being on the blocks for is similar to trying pointer dog lawn without that stable support. It makes our core work a lot harder. One more breath here. And then inhale. Come on back up. So we're starting in hands and knees, so this tabletop position to get everything squared. So you want to make sure those blocks are right underneath your shoulders. So you might want to pull them in a little closer towards each other. A little bit more. So you want the blocks right underneath your shoulders. Okay, and then slide that left block underneath your left knee. And then begin to shift your weight onto that left knee. Draw the right heel back. Left arm forward. Try to be still as possible in this pointer dog. And then left hand, right knee down. Go ahead and remove that block. Come again into your child's pose. So option here to have your forearms in front of you under those blocks, or on top of the blocks. That's the lack of coffee talking. You can circle those wrists around a few times. Ease your way up to a seated position. Take your time. And make sure that you have enough room behind you to roll back in a minute. And we're going to set one of the blocks kind of midway to the side of your mat. All right, let's check that twisting out for a moment. So let's do a simple twist here. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, twist to your right. Look over that right shoulder. You should feel really open and flexible here after all of our twists. Inhale, come on up. Spinal twist to the left. Look over that left shoulder. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float the hands down. We're going to go ahead and gather those legs in. Oh, darn it. We have time for one boat pose. See if you can float your heels off the ground. Engage the core. You can stay right here, or you can reach the arms forward. Perhaps lift the heels a little higher. Slowly take those heels down. We're going to roll all the way down to our mats. And then walk your heels in closer towards your sitting bones, but keep your feet about hip distance apart. So that block should be in reach. We're going to lift the hips and slide the block right underneath our sacrum. So that's this triangular shaped bone that's right over your tailbone. So you don't want to be in the low back. So a little bit closer toward your tailbone. Behind that. This way. Towards your feet. Yep. Okay. And just find a nice little place there to rest. Let that block support you. Tuesday's class, we didn't have access to the blocks, so they used boxes of candle votives, which were about the size of the block. Glass candle votives. Well, none of them broke. Glass candle votives. But it just shows that, I mean, we can be creative. At home, maybe, you know, a nice thick dictionary, if there is such a thing anymore. Some of those wine boxes would probably be about the right height. So from here, go ahead and bridge up, slide that block out from underneath you. And you have a few moments before we come into Shavasana to maybe take advantage of this time by maybe just rocking back and forth. Maybe you want to take a little twist, both knees falling to one side. If you're a fan of Happy Baby, you can take a hold of those outside edges of your feet. So whatever feels good to you. Maybe taking a nice long stretch. And then eventually finding your way to Shavasana. Stretching out on your mat, so laying down. Wiggling those shoulder blades underneath you, maybe turning the palms up. Without moving, just notice how you feel. Maybe take in the sounds around you. And then very slowly introducing movement back to your body. Wiggling fingers and toes, maybe drawing your knees into your chest and giving yourself a nice hug. And then rolling on to one side. Pausing here. Using that top hand to press yourself up to a seated position. Maybe the eyes stay closed and the palms find their way to each other. The prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. Take a nice deep inhale and a slow exhale. Let it all out. Light in me, see, is the same light in each one of you. Namaste.
Namaste.